Hey guys, tonight we slip into a world you probably wouldn't last an hour in. It's cold, damp, and somehow still dusty. The ground feels soft with mud, but also packed with crushed stone, animal droppings, and yesterday's boot prints, frozen into the slop like little fossils. You're standing outside a miner's shack, except, well, you live here. Inside your home are 6 people. It smells like wet socks, boiled cabbage, and soot baked into old blankets. Your blanket is the same one you sleep on. And wear. And chew when you're anxious. You hear the cock crow, if you can call it that. It's really more of a choking sound, but you know what it means. You're late. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Post your location and the local time in the comments. I love seeing where you're tuning in from around the world. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your boots, if you can call these torn leather sleeves boots, are wet before you even step outside. Mud seeps in through holes in the sole. It's not even dawn yet. The sun won't rise for hours. But the mind doesn't wait. You trudge through darkness. One foot in front of the other. The air tastes stale. You pass other figures moving like shadows, some older, some much younger. A girl no older than 8 is carrying a pick almost as long as her. She doesn't speak. Just walks. Eyes half closed. She already knows, talking wastes breath. As you walk, your stomach growls. You didn't eat dinner last night, unless you count half a turnip and 2 sips of something grayish that used to be milk. Breakfast is worse. You chew on a crust you tucked under your mattress for safekeeping. It's now slightly furry. You pick the fuzz off, and chew anyway. Because there is no other option. Your knees ache. Your lower back feels like it's been pulled sideways. You're 17 years old. But you walk like a man of 50. Some say the mornings are the hardest. Others say it's the nights. You'll get to both. Eventually. You approach the wooden scaffolding that marks the mine's entrance. It leans slightly to one side, like it's tired too. The mine boss stands nearby. He doesn't nod. He doesn't speak. He just ticks your name on a board with a stub of chalk. If your name's not ticked, you don't get paid. If you miss too many ticks, you get evicted. And yes, the mine owns your house. Funny, that. You duck your head and step inside. The entrance tunnel smells like iron and something dead. There's always something dead. A bird, maybe. Or something bigger, deeper in. The ground sucks at your boots. Every step is a quiet slurp. It's cold, but you're sweating. From nerves. From the weight of the tools. From knowing this is just the beginning. You cough. That sharp, dry kind of cough. The one that rattles deep in your chest. You've been coughing more lately. Everyone does. Historians still argue whether early coal mining conditions were a direct form of slow execution, or just an unfortunate byproduct of the era's industrial hunger. Either way, you're here. You're walking. And you're already tired. The first part of the shift isn't even underground. You spend the first hour hauling timber to brace the tunnels. Each beam weighs more than a child. Sometimes 2. Your shoulders burn. Your palms blister. You're not allowed to wear gloves. Too expensive. Too slow. By now, your breath comes out in visible puffs. You haven't spoken a word. No one has. The silence is loud in its own way. You hear a boy whimper once. The overseer clears his throat. And the whimpering stops. Because showing weakness in front of the overseer is like bleeding in front of a wolf. After an hour, the real shift begins. 12 hours. That's the expectation. Though the coal doesn't know time. And neither do you. You lower yourself down the shaft. The descent will come later, but already the weight of the day is pressing in. You can feel it. In your bones. In your skin. In the quiet that wraps around you like a damp coat. It's only the beginning. And you're already wondering if you'll make it to the end. You step toward the shaft. It yawns wide before you. A square mouth lined with wet wooden beams. Dark as ink. Quiet as a closed grave. No safety rails. No warning signs. No ceremony. Just a few frayed ropes. And a splintered ladder? Stretching down into forever. You glance at the others. No one hesitates. They just climb. One hand over the other. Boots slipping slightly. On slick rungs dark with years of coal dust. And human grease. Your turn. You reach out. Your fingers wrap around the first rung. It's wet. And warm. You try not to think about why. One foot on. Then the next. You descend. Slowly. Quietly. Carefully. The ladder creaks, but doesn't break. Not this time. Last month, a man slipped from rung 11. Shattered his ribs. They left him on a cart outside the shaft until his breathing stopped. Then his son took his place the next day. The shaft is deeper than it looks. Much deeper. 30, maybe 40 feet. Though it feels like falling into a well that was never finished. No lights. Just one small lantern, swinging on a rusty hook above your head. Below you, nothing. You breathe through your mouth. The air is stale. Like old breath. And wet wood. And sulfur. Every 10 feet, you stop to rest. Not because you're allowed to. But because your legs tremble. And your shoulders burn. You hold tight to the wood. And try not to look down. Because if you fall, no one will catch you. No one will scream. They'll just shift one ST. You finally reach the bottom. Your boots splash quietly into standing water. It's ankle deep. Freezing cold. And perfectly still. You're now beneath the earth. Properly. Sealed in. Wrapped in rock. Held by gravity. And timbers. And the thin hope that the ceiling won't drop tonight. The tunnels stretch out ahead like old intestines. Narrow. Twisting. Too low to stand straight in. You duck. And shuffle. And squint. The candle stub on your cap gives just enough light to see your hands. And not much more. They don't give you a helmet. Or gloves. Or boots with any grip. Just a pickaxe. A candle. And hope. The wool sweat. Literally. Moisture beads across every surface. Some drips into puddles. Some into your hair. It smells like iron. And stone. And something vaguely alive. There are noises here. Always. The sound of drips. Of cracks. Of creaks. Of whispers, maybe. You tell yourself it's just the tunnel shifting. settling, stretching in its sleep. But you know better. Everyone does. Old miners say the mind breathes, that it watches, that it chooses. Historians still argue whether such superstitions were born from ignorance, or simply from the overwhelming loneliness of life underground. You shuffle forward. Your candle flickers. You've heard stories of men whose flames vanished all at once. No wind. No reason. Just darkness. Those men don't usually come back. Some say there are pockets down here. Hidden chambers. Cracks that open beneath your feet. Just wide enough to fall through. Just narrow enough to trap a leg. You've never seen one. But you've heard them. Late in the shift, when everyone's quiet. A soft crunch. Then nothing. Not even an echo. There's a boy ahead of you, maybe 9. His name is Thomas, you think. He doesn't look at you. Just pulls a little cart tied around his waist with a cord of rope. His bare feet squish in the water. No one reacts. Coughing is the lullaby of the shaft. You reach the work face. It's narrower than you remember. The ceiling is lower. You crouch. You twist. You start to dig. The pickaxe strikes stone. The vibration travels up your arms. Into your teeth. You strike again. And again. And again. The rhythm is dull. And heavy. And endless. Every few minutes, you pause to scoop chunks of coal into the cart. Then back to swinging. Again. And again. Until your wrists shake. Until your back locks. Until your vision blurs. This is the job. You mine. You fill. You empty. You repeat. For 12 hours. Sometimes longer. If the cart boy falls ill. If the mine boss wants more output. If the coal vein is too rich to stop. There's no clock. Only candles. And knees. And guesses. Some miners lose track of time entirely. You start to dream with your eyes open. Or forget your own age. One man insisted it was still Tuesday. For 5 straight days. He swore it. And then he stopped speaking altogether. You shake your head. And strike again. The pick bites into a softer patch. Finally. Coal. You scoop it carefully. Piece by piece. Feeling the grit grind into your palms. It'll be in your teeth later. And your eyes. And your pillow. You shift your weight. And try not to think about the next 10 hours. Because the ladder may have been dangerous. But this part never ends. You breathe through your mouth now. Not because you want to, but because the air down here is thick. Thicker than soup. Thicker than steam. Almost chewable. It smells like coal. And damp hair. And something sour that's probably someone else's breath. Or worse. You lean forward to catch it. Just a little more air. But your lungs don't feel full. No matter how much you inhale. There's always this shallow emptiness. It's like trying to breathe through a wet blanket. You blink. Your candle flutters again. Not from wind. Not from motion. From something else. Something that moves. But doesn't speak. Something that doesn't like flames. You look up. Just for a moment. The tunnel above you is black. Not just nighttime black. But coal black. Dreamless sleep black. You hold still. Even your thoughts go quiet. That flicker. Could mean a pocket of gas. Could mean you're seconds from being the center. Of a very small but very final. Explosion. It's called fire damp. Methane. And it loves candles. Historians still argue whether miners fully understood the gas, or simply feared it like a ghost. With no face. You don't know the chemistry. You don't need to. You've seen what it does. Heard it, at least. A soft whoosh. Like someone sighing next to your ear. And then a tunnel full of men. Gone. You don't swing your pick. Not yet. Not until the flame settles. A boy beside you whistles. 3 short notes. A kind of signal. A caged bird on the cart chirps back. Still alive. Still singing. For now. You exhale. Very slowly. And tap the wall with the pick, just once. Gentle. Testing. Nothing sparks. No smell. Just coal. Just work. You carry on. That bird is your safety system. If it stops singing, you stop breathing. They call it a canary. Though some mines use sparrows. Or finches. Or whatever they can catch. They die quickly in gas. Much faster than you. It's not elegant. But it's better than guessing. The boy beside you feeds the bird a few crumbs. Then tightens the leather strap around his wrist. Where a little bell dangles. If he collapses, someone might hear it. Might. You shift your weight again. Your knees pop. Your spine makes a clicking sound that probably isn't good. The air hasn't moved in hours. It feels used. Like it's been breathed. You swing again. More coal comes loose. Your shirt is soaked now. Though it's hard to tell from sweat or humidity. Or just the general wetness that lives in this tunnel. You try to stand straight. But the ceiling presses low. It's like the mine wants you curled. Folded. Shrunken. Your back aches from crouching. Your neck from looking sideways. Your fingers from never fully relaxing. But you keep going. Because stopping means falling behind. And falling behind means being replaced. You don't want that. Not yet. You take a sip from your flask. It's lukewarm water. Tastes like iron. And something leafy. You don't ask. The sound of picks echoes in every direction. A strange rhythm. Not quite music. But something like it. Almost comforting. Almost. You think about light. Sunlight. What it must feel like. Warm on your neck. Bright in your eyes. You haven't seen real sunlight in days. Weeks, maybe. Time slips down here. Stretches. Folds. The candles aren't much help. They don't mark time. They just melt. And melt. Until someone replaces them. Or forgets. A drop of something lands on your head. You look up. Another drop hits your nose. Water, you hope. The ceiling above you is sweating again. You think about the stories. Of soft ceilings. Of beams rotting quietly. Until they give way. A small rumble passes through your boots. Far away. Maybe another teen working deeper in. Or maybe something else. You can't tell. You never can. No one down here knows the full map. Just bits and tunnels. And paths passed down by word of mouth. There is no blueprint. If you get lost, you stay lost. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Some say whole teens have vanished. Swallowed. Gone. You hear a soft hiss. Not gas. A rat. It scurries past your feet. Fat and glossy from a diet of crumbs and things better left unspoken. The rats aren't afraid of you anymore. Some miners swear the rats know when a tunnel is about to collapse. They'll run early, scurry for the ladders, before the timber's grown. You start watching them, just in case. You shift again, dig again, listen again. Same tunnel, same pick, same air. There's still 8 hours left in the shift. Or maybe 10. Or 12. It doesn't matter. Because time isn't measured here. Only the weight of coal. And the ache in your bones. And whether the bird is still singing. The rhythm never really changes. It just deepens. Settles into your muscles. Finds a place in your jaw. In your elbows. In the soft space between thoughts. You lift the pick. You swing. It hits. Coal chips off. You scoop it. You repeat. Every motion is a quiet surrender. Like you're being carved into the stone. Slowly. Hour by hour. The candle on your cap has dribbled wax onto your shoulder. It stings, a little. You don't notice. Not right away. Not anymore. The walls sweat beside you. The air feels thinner. Or maybe you do. You cough again. A dry rasp. Like bark tearing. Your chest rattles afterward. A hollow sound. Not painful. Not exactly. Just concerning. But you keep digging. Because that's what you do. The floor beneath your feet is slippery now. Not from water. From layers of coal dust. Packed down by boot after boot. Step after step. It cakes your soles. Your laces. Your skin. It will follow you home. Into your bed. Into your lungs. Into your dreams. No matter how hard you scrub. It never fully leaves. One of the boys next to you is crying. Not loudly. Just softly. In a rhythm, like breath. He's no older than 11. He's got coal on his cheeks. And a cut on his hand. That won't stop leaking. He hasn't been relieved in 4 hours. His partner never showed up today. No one says anything. Because crying doesn't stop the shift. And blood doesn't slow the Your pick handle has rubbed the same patch of skin raw. You didn't notice at first. But now the skin is split. And your grip is starting to slip. You twist a rag around it. It's already wet. But it'll do. No one has fresh cloth. That's a luxury. You hear a groan. Not from a person. From a beam. It creaks. Low and long. Like an old man stretching. You freeze. Everyone does. Even the rats pause. Then. Nothing. The tunnel holds. The ceiling stays above your head. Barely. Someone lets out a breath. Might have been you. Then. Back to work. Because if the beam hasn't broken yet, you may as well get another hour out of it. That's how it works. The pick bounces off the wall again. And again. You settle back into the rhythm. Somewhere far down the shaft. You hear a whistle. Not a bird. A signal. A shift rotation? A cave-in? Someone lost? Hard to tell. Everything echoes here. Even your own thoughts. Historians still argue whether 17th century mine labor was organized with true shift rotations. Or if workers simply labored until someone collapsed and was dragged out. Your personal experience leans toward the second option. You pause to drink. Not water. You ran out an hour ago. Just to wet your mouth with the rag. It's a weak trick. But it buys you 5 more swings. Your mouth tastes like metal. Your teeth feel gritty. Your tongue is black at the edges. Not from ink. From coal. You'll spit it out later. Or swallow it. It doesn't matter. You shift your weight. Your right leg has started cramping. The kind that seizes and won't let go. You try to stretch, but the tunnel is too low. You just curl it under you and keep digging, because stopping means falling behind. And you've already fallen behind. You know what happens to slow hands. The boss doesn't shout. He just stares and marks your name in chalk. A little differently. It's a code. You're being watched. You can't afford to care. A piece of coal hits your cheek. Sharp. Leaves a line of blood. You don't touch it. No clean cloth. No water. No point. Another rumble. Farther this time. Could be another shaft. Or a cart tipping. Or a support giving way. Or someone digging too fast. In the wrong direction. You've seen that before. A man broke through into an abandoned chamber. Filled with old air. Rotten, gas-heavy, silent. He was dead in 30 seconds. They closed the tunnel and wrote his name on a plank. Then kept digging. Right next to it. Because the coal doesn't care who dies. And the mine never stops. You blink slowly. There's a soft ringing in your ears. Might be exhaustion. Might be pressure. You can't tell anymore. But the pick keeps swinging. Even though your arms shake. Even though your mouth is dry. Even though your thoughts are starting to go soft around the edges. You think of home. Of your bed. Which is just a pile of cloth. On a wooden board. But it's yours. And it smells familiar. And for a moment, you feel something like hope. Then someone taps your shoulder and points. Cart's full. Time to haul it back. And you realize you haven't even reached midday yet. You brace your legs, hook your arms, and begin the long, slow drag. The cart is heavier than usual. Too full. Or maybe you're weaker today. Hard to say. Your boots squish against the coal sludge. You lean your body forward. Wrists wrapped around the frayed robe. Biting into your waist. Each step is a struggle. Not a sprint. Not a climb. Just a stubborn forward crawl. In a tunnel no taller than your neck. You grunt. But no sound comes out. Your breath is used up just staying upright. The wheels of the cart groan behind you. Metal scraping wood. Wood dragging stone. The tunnel is uneven. You stumble on knots of rock. And hidden puddles. And the occasional rat corpse. But you see the faster you get the cart back, the sooner you can return to digging. Funny, isn't it? That's the reward. More digging. Your shoulder bumps the tunnel wall. A splinter lodges in your sleeve. You ignore it. Add it to the list. The bird in the cage ahead is silent. Sleeping, maybe. Or just conserving air. You envy it, in a way. You reach a small dip in the tunnel. The cart stalls. You heave forward. Muscles twitch. Your knees scream. You cough again. That same hollow bark. The kind that echoes. Like your lungs are trying to peel away. You feel lightheaded. Not dizzy. Just thin. Like part of you has already drifted. Somewhere lighter. Somewhere warmer. But you're still here. Dragging. The weight of the cart is real. So is the sound of another one behind you. Coming fast. You press yourself into the wall. Barely enough room. The other cart rushes past. Two boys. Covered in black. Eyes unfocused. One nods. The other doesn't even look. You wait until they pass. Then keep pulling. Always forward. You pass a support beam. That's clearly rotting. There's a crack near the base. Thin now, but widening. You note it. Say nothing. If you mention it, the boss might dock your pay for loitering. Or worse, assign you to that tunnel tomorrow. Just to test it. That's happened before. Historians still debate how much 17th century mine supervisors understood structural risk. Whether neglect was ignorance, or just plain cruelty with a time card. You reach the main shaft. It's slightly wider here. You can almost stand up. Almost. You unload the cart. Coal spills out into a larger bin. It hisses when it lands. Warm from friction. Wet from the tunnel walls. A man with one eye ticks your name. He doesn't smile. He just nods at the next cart. You take a deep breath. Try to stretch your fingers. They don't fully uncurl. Then back you go. Back into the tunnel. Back T. The lamp above the shaft flickers slightly. That soft, warm glow. You notice it now. It's not much. But compared to the tunnel, it feels like sunlight. Or what you imagine sunlight might feel like. Still, you don't stop. Because if you linger, someone else takes your spot. And spots are precious. Even the dangerous ones. Even the rotten ones. You shuffle back to your station. Someone's moved your pick. You find it. The handle's even rougher now. Your rag has fallen off. You wrap it again. Tight. The walls seem closer. Like they've shifted. Caved inward just a little. You blink. Your candle has shortened. Barely a stub. The wax drips into your hair. You don't flinch. You don't care. You start swinging again. The coal doesn't move as easily this time. Or maybe your arms are slower. They feel heavier. Like they belong to someone else. Someone tired. Someone older. Your back aches from bending. There's no space to stand straight. Not here. Not ever. You think about posture. How your spine curves now. Like a hook left in water too long. They say coal miners shrink. Lose inches over the years. Compressed by work. And it's true. You know men half your height. Who started as tall as trees. Now they walk like question marks. Bent. Worn. Punctuated by pain. You feel a soft trickle down your nose. You wipe it. It's black. Might be blood. Might be coal. You don't check. There's no mirror. No time. The pick slips. Clangs against stone. Sends a sharp note through the tunnel. Everyone pauses. Just a breath. Then back to work. Because accidents are common. Only fatal ones get noticed. You adjust your stance. Try again. More chipping. More filling. More silence. Your ears ring again. That soft, dull hum. It never really leaves. Your hand cramps. You shake it. The day is far from done. The air is heavy. Your chest burns. Your back locks. But you keep going. Because rest isn't real. And shifts don't end. And there's no bell to save you. Only the pick. The candle. the dust, and the long, slow drag of the next cart. There's a sound behind you. Soft, but sharp. A wheel squeals, then stops. You glance back, and there she is. Small frame, dark hair, bare feet caked in black. She can't be older than 10, maybe 9. She's pulling a wooden sled half her size. It's filled with chunks of coal. Too many, honestly. You can see the effort in her arms, the wobble in her knees. She doesn't look at you. No one really makes eye contact down here. Not unless something's wrong. You nod once. She doesn't nod back. You return to your wall. She drags her sled forward, the rope wrapped tight around her shoulders, like reins on a worn-out mule. She slips once. Doesn't fall. Just keeps pulling. Her job is called trapper or sometimes hurrier. She moves coal, back and forth, all day, all night. Sometimes she opens doors between sections. Just stands in darkness, waiting for footsteps, opening and closing, like a human hinge. Imagine spending 12 hours in total blackness, just listening for carts. No candle, no sound, no sleep. It happens all the time. Historians still argue whether the use of children in 17th century mines was born of necessity or pure economic cruelty. But you're not a historian. You're just here, with her, in the dark. You don't speak to her. You wouldn't know what to say. What do you tell a child? The pick swings slower now. Your arms are full of sand. Or at least they feel that way. Each motion is a negotiation between pain and survival. The coal vein here is tight, dense, takes more force to break, more time, more breath. And breath is a luxury. Your candle flickers again. You check the bird. Still singing. Barely. You remember when your little brother asked if he could come with you. Said he wanted to help. You said no. Not because you're noble, but because you knew you couldn't watch this place chew him up the way it's chewing you. That girl, the one with the sled, might not see her next birthday. Might not even know what day of the week it is. None of you really do. Down here, there are no holidays, no Sundays, no sick days. You're either in the shaft, or you're not being paid. And if you're not being paid, well, then you can't eat. And if you can't eat, you get weak. And weak people don't last long. Simple math. You cough again. Worse this time. Deeper. It rattles like something important is trying to shake loose. Your chest burns. Your throat tastes like soot. You swallow. It doesn't help. A boy near you hacks into his sleeve. He holds it up. Black. Not just dirt, but inside black. Lung black. No one says a word. Just glances away. Everyone's coughing. All the time. Some worse than others. Some quieter. Until they're not. They call it miner's cough. Or black spit. Or sometimes just the end. You stretch your back. It doesn't stretch. It just makes a crunching noise. You stop trying. You dig. And dig. And dig. A chunk of coal lands on your foot. Sharp corner. Tears through the boot. You hiss through your teeth. But don't scream. The nail's probably split. The toe's probably bleeding. You'll deal with it later. Or never. There's no first aid. No bandages. Just the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. You meet her eyes. Just for a moment. They're gray. Not from color. From dust. From time. She's seen things. You both have. Like that boy last week. The one who slipped into a water pocket. Gone in seconds. No scream. No splash. Just one moment he was there. And the next, his cart rolled back alone. They didn't even fish him out. Too much effort. Just walled off the tunnel. Like it never happened. You wonder how many tunnels are like that. Sealed graves. With names no one wrote down. You shake the thought. Swing again. And again. And again. You're so tired. You forget to blink. Your mouth is dry. Your eyes sting. You wonder if it's still day outside. If the sky is blue. If birds are flying. The bird in your cage chirps once. You nod. At least someone gets to sing. The hours pass. Not by clock. But by ache. There's a certain point. Somewhere after the 6th hour. When your body starts whispering. Then begging. Then simply shutting down. One part at a time. It starts with your fingers. They don't bend quite right anymore. The tendons are tight. As if they're shortening with every grip. Your knees are swollen. Your left shoulder clicks when you swing. And you've stopped caring what that might mean. The pain doesn't scream. It doesn't stab. It just settles. Spreads. Becomes a constant presence. Like the dark. You get used to it. Or you pretend to. Because you're not done. Not even close. You move slower now. Your pick doesn't hit as deep. But you keep swinging. Because swinging is the only thing that counts. The mind doesn't measure you by strength. Only by motion. By output. By how many cartloads you've filled. When the shift bell finally echoes. If it echoes. Some days, it doesn't come at all. You catch a glimpse of your hands. As your candle flutters. They're grey. Dusty grey. With black crusts. Your nails are chipped. Your fingertips are raw. You've wrapped one in a strip of old cloth. It's wet now. With what? You don't want to know. Your boots feel tighter. Could be swelling. Could be just that you haven't sat in 7 hours. You don't remember what sitting feels like. The walls are starting to blur at the edges. You blink. Slow, heavy blinks. You're still upright. Still swinging. Still breathing. Kind of. But you're not really present. You drift. Just a little. The pick swings itself. Your arms move without asking. Like they belong to someone else. Or maybe they've just forgotten how to stop. The tunnel feels smaller. It's always been small. But now it presses. The ceiling seems lower. The walls closer. The air thinner. Your head feels light. Your chest feels full. Not in a good way. You rest your pick for just a second. Lean against the wall. Close your eyes. Only for a breath. Then a voice. Gruff and low. Keep going. You snap back. The overseer's watching. He doesn't yell. Doesn't need to. Just stands there. Arms crossed. Lantern swinging from one hand. The light catches the sweat on your face. The coal dust. The sag in your eyes. He says nothing more. Just moves on. But the message is clear. Stop again. And you're done. You lift the pick. The motion hurts. So do your ribs. You twist carefully. Back to swinging. Back to filling the cart. The coal dust stirs when you move. It lifts into the air. Like tiny moths. With nowhere to go. You breathe it in. You always do. Some miners tie cloths around their faces. But that's discouraged. Slows you down. Makes you look like you're hiding. Besides, what would it change? The dust lives here. You do not. And it knows it. You cough. A deep one. This time, it bends you at the waist. Your eyes water. Your vision goes cloudy. Then it passes. You stand. His lungs gave out. Collapsed, they said. The undertaker said they were black as tar. Weighed double what lungs should weigh. They buried him in his work clothes. The cleanest he'd ever been. No ceremony. Just a pit in the mud. Like the mine itself. But above ground. You wonder if you'll get the same. Probably not. You don't even have a proper jacket. But there's no time for wondering. Your cart's not full yet. You keep working. The wall in front of you is soft now. A better patch. Coal cracks easily here. You swing with more speed. Feels good. Almost. You fill the cart. Piece by piece. Your fingers go numb. They don't feel the weight anymore. That worries you a little. But not enough to stop. The bird chirps faintly. You glance. Still breathing. Still okay. The tunnel creaks. Timbers flex. You pause. Listen. The creaks are everywhere. But none sharp enough to run. Not yet. You think of the man who ignored a creak last month. Crushed by a ceiling beam the size of a door. His body bent the wrong way. They say it took an hour to dig him out. By then, there wasn't much left to dig. They gave his wife a loaf of bread. And a candle. Compensation, they called it. You swing again. And again. And again. You stop thinking. Just move. Just exist. Like the tunnel. Like the coal. Like the mine that doesn't sleep. Your body is breaking. But not loudly. Quietly. Steadily. Like everything down here. And still, you are not even close to done. There's a new sound now. Not a creak. A drip. But heavier. More deliberate. You pause. Lift your head. Listen. It's coming from the right. Past a timber that's been bowing for weeks. The wall is darker there. Wetter. You take a few slow steps toward it. Boots squishing through layers of soggy dust. The dripping gets louder. More frequent. You crouch. Hold up your candle. And there it is. Water. It's bleeding. The rock is bleeding water. You step back. Slowly. Carefully. You've seen this before. You know what it means. A flood doesn't start like a storm. It starts with a few drops. And then, the wall gives way. And water comes in. Like it's been waiting. No warning. No time to run. Just a whoomph. And everything fills. Instantly. You once heard of a mine in Wales. Whole shift drowned. 37 men and 2 boys. Gone before their final breath. Historians still debate whether 17th century mine design had any drainage at all. Or if it was more a matter of luck and elevation. You think it was luck. Because when the water comes, it chooses. You cough again. Still black. But wetter now. You spit. It hits the floor with a small splash. You don't tell anyone about the wall. There's no point. The boss will just say to watch it. Maybe assign a child to stand near it. Listen for cracking. You return to your cart. It's full. You lean into the harness. Begin the haul. Every step is harder. Your legs ache with something deeper now. A stiffness that doesn't stretch out. Like your bones are resisting. Like they're asking, why are we still doing this? But you don't answer. Because there is no answer. The cart wheels catch on the uneven floor. You stumble. Knee hits rock. You grunt. Stand back up. Keep pulling. The rope cuts into your shoulder. There's a burn there now. A ridge of red skin. You'll feel it tonight. Or tomorrow. If you're lucky. You pass a tunnel junction. Another team shuffles past. For men and a boy. All coughing. All pale beneath the coal. They look like ghosts. Or the idea of men. One has his hand wrapped in rags. Blood spots show through. He keeps walking. The mind doesn't pause for wounds. Only death. And even then, just briefly. Always. You sit for half a minute. Maybe less. Then back you go. You glance again at the seeping wall as you pass. Still dripping. Still quiet. Still waiting. The rest of the tunnel looks the same. Smells the same. Feels tighter now. Your pick is where you left it. Handle still damp. The rag on the grip is stiff with dried blood. You don't bother changing it. You're out of rags. Back to swinging. The motion is different now. More sluggish. Your body is rebelling. But the tunnel doesn't care. The coal doesn't care. And the mine boss certainly doesn't. You dig for what feels like hours. Might be 1. Might be 3. Time doesn't behave here. You start seeing things at the edge of your vision. Not shapes. Just movement. Like shadows blinking. Like the mine is watching you back. A few weeks ago, one of the boys claimed to hear whispers. Said the mine was calling him. He started laughing. Then crying. Then laughing again. They sent him home. He hasn't returned. You wonder if he's lucky. Or gone. Or maybe just buried behind a collapsed wall. You catch yourself swaying. Not on purpose. Just swaying. Like your body is trying to rock itself to sleep. Your pick swings wide and misses. Clangs against a beam. You freeze. Everyone nearby does. The beam doesn't break. But it lets out a sound. Low, like a warning growl. No one scolds you. No one speaks. Because they've all done it. They all know how close this ceiling hangs. And how ready it is to come down. You mouth a silent apology. To the tunnel. To the mine. And swing again. Carefully. Like you're carving ice. Your knees throb. Your fingers twitch. Your eyelids sag. You are more sweat than skin now. More cold than color. And you still haven't had anything to eat today. You reach into your shirt pocket. A crust of bread. Soft from body heat. Tastes like ash. But it stops the hunger shakes. For a while. You chew slowly. eyes half closed. Then back to the pick. The girl with the cart passes again. Still barefoot. Still silent. Her eyes meet yours, just for a moment. And in them, not sadness. Not pain. Just acceptance. This is the life. For her. For you. For everyone down here. And the water behind the wall is still waiting. It's sometime in the late shift now. Though you couldn't say when exactly. There's no sun to check. No bell. Just the quiet rumble in your stomach. And the gnawing ache in your limbs. That signals what might be lunchtime. If you had anything left to eat. You don't. Just a thin smear of lard wrapped in cloth. Too rancid to swallow. You sniff it anyway. Then tuck it back in your shirt. For later. Maybe. You crouch in your hollow. And close your eyes for just a second. Not sleep. Just shutting out the flickering candle. The smell of sweat and coal dust. The muffled coughing down the tunnel. Then, a sharp voice cuts through. Breaks over. Not for you. For someone nearby. You weren't on break. You were only drifting. The voice fades. A boot scuffs. And another pick swings. So do you. Back to work. You reach for another lump of coal. It crumbles in your hand. Not soft. Just brittle. Like everything else down here. Your knees make a new sound. A clicking one. With every bend. Like flint sparking in your joints. You wince, but keep going. There's a quiet competition in the shaft. Unspoken. Who can carry more? Who can dig faster? Who can keep moving? Even after the pain sets in. Because if you can't keep up, you'll find a note on your bunk. A dismissal. No warning. No apology. Just a reminder. You're replaceable. The mine owns you. But only for as long as you're useful. And when you're not, well, there's always another pair of hands. The new boys come in every week. Most are cousins of cousins. Farm kids. Or orphans. They always look hopeful at first. Eager. Like they think this is just a job. Something to earn a crust. Then, after a few days, you see it in their eyes. That look. Like something inside them. Just folded in half. And didn't bother unfolding again. You used to have that look. You don't remember when it showed up. Only that it never left. There's a superstition in your crew. That if you drop your lunch in the coal, you're cursed to fall ill within a week. You dropped yours yesterday. Didn't say anything. Just brushed it off. Ate it anyway. You feel a little warm now. But it's hard to tell if it's fever. Or just the trapped heat in your clothes. You haven't bathed in days. Weeks, maybe. There's no real bathing down here. Only wiping with cold cloth. Or sitting in a bucket. When the air isn't too biting. Even then, the grime doesn't go away. It's part of you now. Beneath the nails. In the ears. Behind the eyes. Coating your throat like a second tongue. You pick again. More coal. A good patch. It flakes away easily. Revealing darker seams beneath. You fill your cart. Another load. You barely feel the strain anymore. Your body is tired of complaining. A boy stumbles nearby. He drops his rope. His cart tips. Coal spills everywhere. The overseer storms down the path. Grabs the boy by the arm. No shouting. Just a shake. A grip too tight. The boy says nothing. Neither do you. No one speaks. When discipline walks past, the boy is sent back. Not home. Just farther down the shaft. A punishment shift. You know what that means. Darker tunnel. Less stable. More risk. He won't cry. Not here. Only later. If he makes it to later. You swing again. Your arms are slower now. But steady. You've learned not to waste energy. There's a rhythm to misery. Your candle flickers. Nearly gone. You pinch out the flame. Save what's left. Your shadow dances in front of you. Stretched. Thin. Unreal. You wonder? If your shadow had lungs, would it cough too? Probably. You try not to laugh. There's no breath to spare. Another load. You drag it back. Feet sliding. Body tilted forward. It's easier if you don't think. You don't think about the girl who stopped coming last week. Or the boy with the twisted spine. Or the man who didn't wake up after night shift. You don't think about how you used to run. Climb trees. Laugh. You don't think about your hands. How they shake now. Even when still. You don't think. You just pull. Because even this is better than being thrown out. The company owns your home. Your food. Your bed. Your future. And if you lose your place, you lose everything. There are stories of injured miners who return to find their cottage padlocked, their beds taken, their names scrubbed off the ledger. They beg. But begging gets you nowhere. Not here. Not in the dark. You pass the dripping wall again. It's worse now. Faster. Almost like a leak. You think about telling someone. But then what? They won't stop the mine. They'll send a boy to plug it with mud. Until it bursts. And when it does, they'll just mark the tunnel closed. Shovel over the names. And send the rest of you a few feet deeper. Because the coal doesn't stop. And neither do you. Even as you break. Quietly. From the inside out. You're starting to see things. Not clearly. Just little glimmers. Flickers of light that vanish when you look straight at them. You blink. Slowly. But they're gone again. Maybe it's the candle. Or the dust. Or the lack of food. Maybe it's just your brain. Trying to escape. In the only way it knows how. There's a sound up ahead. A quiet chirp. Then silence. Then another chirp. Higher pitched. The bird. You exhale through you wipe your forehead. Smear more coal than sweat. Your sleeves damp. You don't know with what. You cough again. A new sound this time. Wet. Rattling. It tastes bitter. Like copper. An old iron. You rub your chest. Feel nothing. No relief. No break. Just pressure. And dust. The tunnels ahead begin to branch. One to the left. One to the right. You follow the path with fewer footprints. You were told to clear this section. It hasn't been worked in days. You pass a bird cage hanging on a nail. Empty. The cage swings slightly. No song. Not a good sign. But you go anyway. Because turning back means losing time. And time, down here, is the only currency that matters. You hold your breath. Just for a moment. Listening. Smelling. The gas, if it's there, will smell faint. Like rot. Or wet metal. Or sometimes nothing at all. You keep moving. Your candle flickers but stays. A small miracle. You reach a narrow chamber. There's coal here. Still untouched. You set down your pick. Start to work. Slowly. Carefully. Not because of fear, but because your body won't move any faster. Your legs are noodles. Your hands, gravel. Your back. It's not even pain anymore. Just numb space. You chip. Scoop. Stack. Repeat. The chamber is quiet. Too quiet. You begin to feel it. That tickle of superstition. The one you pretend you don't believe. But everyone down here knows it. The feeling of a tunnel watching you. Holding its breath. Waiting. You hum. Just a little tune. Nothing specific. Something to fill the silence. You're not sure if it helps. You pause. Adjust your boot. Feel a pebble press into your heel. Can't stop to remove it. You'll bleed either way. You glance up. And there it is. The bird. Dead. Lying sideways in the bottom of its cage. No warning. No flutter. You back away slowly. Leave your cart. Leave the coal. No one will ask why. If you make it out. If. You retrace your steps. Soft. Quiet. Every muscle alert. The mind is holding still. Listening. Then. You hear it. The low groan of timber. A stretch. A shift. Then a sharp crack. Then silence. Then. Boom. Not an explosion. Not fire. Just stone. Moving. Somewhere, something has collapsed. You can feel it in your ribs. In your teeth. In the sudden stillness of the floor. You hurry now. Not running. Just moving with purpose. The kind of walk that hopes not to draw attention. You pass the dead bird again. Its tiny foot twitches. Probably nothing. Probably. You cough again. Deeper this time. It hurts. Not just your throat. But your ears. Your chest. Your very spine. You lean on a wall. Just to breathe. It doesn't help. The air's turning. You can feel it. Someone passes you. A boy with wild eyes. No cart. No pick. He's mumbling. Something about birds. And water. And soft dirt. He doesn't stop. You don't call after him. Because what would you say? The minds break people. Not always loudly. Sometimes with whispers. Sometimes with dreams. You keep walking. Reach the wider path. Relief floods your legs. The air's better here. Not clean. Just less deadly. You pause to collect yourself. Your heart feels wrong. Out of rhythm. Heavy in a way that frightens you. You sit for a moment. Just for a second. Your fingers tremble. You can't stop them. A man nearby is sharpening his pick. With a rock. Very slowly. He whistles. But it's tuneless. You eventually stand. Your legs don't like it. But they obey. You start back toward your post. Toward your tools. Toward the pick. And the dust. And the birdless cage. Because your shift isn't over. And you are. Somehow. Still alive. Your candle has burned down to a stub now. The last half-inch flickering like a dying star. Pressed to your forehead. The wax hardened against your cap. Melted again. And now hangs in cold drips. Like icicles. This is the night shift. Or what passes for night down here. Not that the sun ever touched your tunnel. But something about this hour. This absence of light feels different. Thicker. Darker. Meaner. You reach your station. Pick still there. Rag still damp. Handle still stained. You crouch. Because there's no standing here. There never was. Your spine is tired of being a question mark. Your knees ache like they've been filled with gravel. You try to remember your mother's face. It comes up blurry. Then fades. You're too tired for memory. Too tired to sleep. Too tired to stop. You chip at the wall. The coal resists. Then yields. You scoop. You chip. You scoop. The rhythm returns. Not comforting. Just familiar. Something nearby shifts. A sound. A breath. But there's no one there. You blink slowly. Could have been a trick of the candle. Could have been nothing. Or everything. You feel eyes on your back. Always. That's the thing about the night shift. The dark isn't just outside your body. It's inside it too. Your thoughts begin to swim. Images float up. Then vanish. A red apple. A clear sky. A clean shirt. Things you haven't seen in months. Or maybe years. You bite your lip. Try to stay grounded. But even your teeth feel loose. You think you feel one move. You stop touching it. Ignore it. Pray it stays put. You hum again. A tuneless, the bird cage on the hook is empty again. The last one died 3 shifts ago. They haven't replaced it. Or maybe they did. And it died too. No one asks. No one dares. A few tunnels down. Someone singing. A slow, broken hymn. It echoes oddly. Curling around corners. Like smoke. It doesn't sound human. You try not to listen. But it finds your ears anyway. It sounds like mourning. Or madness. Or maybe both. The night shift has a way of doing that. Pulling loose the threads. Between what's real. And what you hope is real. You blink. Your candle sputters. You replace it with a fresh stub. From your coat pocket. It's cracked. Greasy. Barely burns. But it's enough to see your hands. And the coal. And the shadow of the pick. Against the dripping wall. Your pick swings wide once. Too wide. Catches on a timber beam. There's a loud crack. Not deep. But sharp. Like a warning. You freeze. A few pebbles fall from the ceiling. Then silence. You look up. See nothing. The beam holds. For now. You go back to swinging. But slower. Always slower at night. Not just from fatigue. But fear. At night, the mind breathes louder. It watches. It remembers. You shift your weight. Try not to lean too hard against the wall. There are stories. Stories about men. Who touched the wrong stone. And vanished. No sound. No scream. Just gone. Sometimes their voices echo days later. Whispers in the shaft. Nonsense words. Or maybe prayers. You pick again. Rhythm. Scrape. Scoop. Breathe. The air is colder now. Not fresh. Just less warm. You can see your breath. Each puff small. Uneven. You hold one hand against your ribs. The cough's coming back. You feel it before it reaches your throat. When it does, it seizes you. You glance around. Where is the boy who collects carts? He should have come by. But there's no sound. No footsteps. You call his name. Softly. Just once. Nothing. You listen harder. Still nothing. Your chest tightens. Not from fear. From exhaustion. From acceptance. You drag your cart yourself. It's harder at night. The ground seems stickier. Like the mind doesn't want to let go. You strain. Pull. Groan. Every step is a prayer. Please don't collapse. Please don't flood. Please let me finish. That's all anyone wants. To finish. Because the night shift isn't about work. It's about endurance. You don't learn new skills. You don't get faster. You just try not to disappear. You pull past the dark tunnels. Past the broken wheelbarrow. Past the collapsed plank. Every landmark feels ancient. Like ruins of a world no one was meant to live in. You reach the drop point. Unload your cart. Nobody marks your name. The board is blank. You write it yourself. A crooked scrawl. It doesn't matter. You're the only one who'll care. You sit down. Just for a second. The stone is cold. It helps. A little. You close your eyes. Just for a breath. Behind them. Images flicker. Not dreams. Just flashes. A chicken. A table. Your sister's laugh. Then, gone. You open your eyes. The mine is still here. And so are you. For now. A sharp pain in your hip reminds you. Sitting is not an option. Not here. Not tonight. You stand slowly. Bones arguing with every inch of movement. You stretch. Or rather, you try to. Your spine gives 3 quiet cracks. Like old wood under pressure. Your fingers don't uncurl right away. It takes both hands to pry them open. They're beginning to claw permanently. A miner's grip. You spit. It's darker. Even the mine feels tired. Like it's exhaling slowly. After a long, hungry day. You pass a collapsed beam. Someone's tried to prop it up. With a stack of old planks and a rock. It leans like a drunk man. You walk under it anyway. What choice do you have? You think you hear something. Voices. Low, muttering. From around the corner. You stop. Hold your breath. Wait. Nothing. Just the groan of timber. And the steady drip of water. From somewhere deeper in. You exhale. You round the corner. No one's there. Of course they're not. That's the trick of the night. It echoes your own mind. Back at you. You glance down the tunnel. There's a faint glow. Someone's candle left on a crate. You reach it. The crate is empty. The candle nearly gone. You sit beside it for a minute. Let the light warm your face. Even a small flame. Feels like companionship. You close your eyes again. Only briefly. But that's all it takes. Suddenly you're waking up. You don't know how long you were out. Could be seconds. Could be 20 minutes. The candle's almost dead. Your fingers are asleep. Your legs tingling. You force yourself up. No one saw. You hope. If the overseer catches you sleeping, you'll be replaced. Or punished. Or both. You return to the wall. Pick up your tool. Start again. The sound of metal on stone is hypnotic. Soft. Rhythmic. You fall into it. Again. And again. And again. Every now and then. You stop to cough. Lean on your knees. Catch what little breath remains. The walls glisten in your candlelight. Black and silver streaks run like veins. The coal seems endless. But so is your shift. You hear footsteps. Someone else working nearby. They sound slow. Shuffling. You peek around the tunnel bend. An older man. Barely upright. One arm tucked into his belt. The other holding a pick. He doesn't see you. Just swings. You've never seen him before. But you don't ask questions. Not at night. He might be real. Or not. You swing again. Coal falls in chunks. You're almost grateful. You fill your next cart. Begin to drag it down the same path. Past the dripping walls. Past the whispering cracks. Past the plank where that boy tripped and broke his leg last month. He never came back. The company didn't explain. No one asked. You reach the drop zone. Unload. Mark your name. The chalk is wet from someone's blood. You use it anyway. Back into the dark. Back to the pick. Back to the breathless repetition. You count your own heartbeats now. Just to feel something measured. 50. 70. 100. They slow. Then stutter. Then catch up again. You shift your weight. Your boot squelches. There's something leaking inside. Not water. Not anymore. You ignore it. The cart boy finally shows. Eyes wild. Face streaked with soot. Hand shaking. He says nothing. Just takes the next cart. You wonder if he's eaten. You wonder if you have. You can't remember. You lean on your pick. Then resume. A new splinter jabs your palm. You don't flinch. Your body is past reacting. You swing with your shoulders now. Your arms are just there. You lose count of swings. Of hours. Of blinks. The air tastes flat. Dead. Your candle dies. No warning. Just darkness. Total. You freeze. Don't move. Don't even breathe. Then. A faint chirp. Not close. But somewhere. You fumble for another stub. Your last one. Light returns. Dim. Weak. You keep going. Because there's nothing else. You're injured. Sore. Exhausted. But not enough to stop. And that's all that matters. Because if you can still move, still swing, still drag, you'll keep your place. If not, they'll replace you. And you've seen what the tunnel seems longer this time. Like it's stretching. Quietly. Each time you glance away. You lean forward. Put your whole weight into the pull. Your shoulder cracks. Your knee throbs. But the cart moves. In slow inches. Across uneven stone. Your feet slip in the coal mush. You stagger. Then catch yourself on the wall. Your palm lands in something wet. You pull it back. It's black. Could be water. Could be blood. Could be both. You wipe it on your shirt. What's another stain? As you pass the junction, you spot a figure sitting against a beam. A man. Maybe. Or just someone shaped like one. He's holding his leg. There's something wrong with it. Bent the wrong way. Like a tree limb twisted in a storm. You slow. Make eye contact. He looks at you. Eyes wide. But dull. Not in pain. Just beyond it. He doesn't speak. Doesn't ask for help. Because down here, you don't ask. You already know. You nod. That's all. And keep dragging. Because stopping Won't change anything. You reach the main shaft. The overseer is there this time. He watches you unload. Eyes blank. He says, "You're late." You nod again. He doesn't write your name. Just turns away. That's not a good sign. You pick up your tool and head back. The silence is heavier now. Not just from exhaustion, but from knowing you're already being weighed, measured, replaced in someone's mind. You pass the collapsed man again. He hasn't moved. Someone draped a coat over him. Not his. Too clean. It won't help. But it's something. You step around him. Your candle flickers. Again. You're down to your last matches. You reach your station. Drop to your knees. Can't crouch anymore. Your back is a rope pulled too tight. The coal is waiting. Still dark. Still endless. Still indifferent. You swing. You stop noticing. There's a new noise. From the wall beside you. Not dripping. Not creaking. More like breathing. The stone exhales. You feel it on your cheek. A soft, warm breath. Not possible. But there it is. You pause. Tilt your head. Listen. Nothing now. Just your own breath. Your own sweat. Your own confusion. You chuckle once. Low in your throat. You've heard of this. Tunnel fever. It sets in after 12 hours. Sometimes sooner. It makes men hear things. See things. Sometimes worse. You blink. Wipe your face. There's grit in your eyes. Behind your eyes. You blink again. Still there. You cough. It racks your chest. Leaves you folded. Spitting black onto your boot. You sit. No choice this time. Your head rests against the wall. It's warm. Not comforting. Just oddly alive. You don't like that. You stand again. Force yourself. Pick in hand. Coal in front of you. Same rhythm. Same silence. You don't think about tomorrow. Or even later today. You don't think about your lungs. Your back. The growing tremor in your hand. You just swing. And swing. And swing. Each movement. A protest. Each breath. A quiet dare. You fill another cart. Call for someone to take it. No one comes. You rest your hands on the handle. Close your eyes for a moment. Try to remember what grass feels like, or wind, or light that doesn't flicker. You fail. There's only dark, and damp, and the soft sound of the mind whispering your name. You glance toward the shaft again. Far off. Too far. You're not done. Not yet. And even if you were, where would you go? Your legs won't carry you far. And your hands aren't good for anything but breaking stone. You belong to the mine now. You blink slowly. It's hard to tell if your eyes are open or shut now. The dark doesn't change. It just deepens. You move by memory more than sight. The tunnel has carved itself into your spine. Every bend. Every low beam. Every rock that catches your toe. Your cart is lighter this time. You didn't feel it. Couldn't. Your arm stopped listening an hour ago. Your back gave out 2 carts before that. But you keep hauling. Because even half a load is better than nothing. And nothing gets you noticed. And getting noticed means getting replaced. And getting replaced Means going home. If you can call it that. You pass the old man again. Still slumped. Still not moving. The coat's gone now. So is his light. You don't check for breath. You don't even slow down. There's no point. If he's gone, he's lucky. If not, he'll be gone soon enough. You cough again. It's dry this time. Your throat burns. Your ribs ache with each breath. You feel hollow. Not just hungry. Emptied. Like someone reached in and scooped out everything. Except fatigue. The overseer is gone now. Even he needs sleep. But the mind never sleeps. Not really. The mind watches. Waits. Keeps track in its own way. And you're falling behind. You reach the shaft. Unload what little you've carried. Your name's already marked. A mistake? Or did someone do it for you? Either way, you say nothing. Because saying something makes you visible. And visible is dangerous. You turn back. Legs dragging. Knees buckling. Your chest is tight again. Not just from the dust. From something deeper. You place a hand over your heart. It's racing. Then slowing. Then racing again. Like it's confused about whether to keep going. You stop beside a tunnel support. Rest your weight against it. Close your eyes. Your body screams for rest. Real rest. You try to remember the last time you felt something soft. Nothing comes. Everything down here is stone. Wood. Or iron. You laugh softly. A dry sound. It echoes like a cough. You pick up your tool again. Your hand doesn't close all the way around the handle. The tendons have locked. You wedge your fingers in place. The coal doesn't care. It still waits. You swing again. Weakly. It barely scrapes. Again. Deeper. Almost there. You fill a few chunks into the cart. Not many. Your arms tremble. You stop to breathe. The bird is gone again. No chirp. No cage. Just a hook. Swinging gently. You don't even remember the last bird's name. They all had names once. The boys used to name them. Now, they don't bother. Not when they die faster than candles. You sit for a minute. Then 2. Then 5. You don't mean to. You just forget to stand up. Your hands are in your lap. Your head against the wall. You think, maybe if I sit here long enough, they'll think I'm dead. And then they'll carry me out. And I won't have to walk. You laugh again. A wheeze. You stand. You make yourself stand. Because if they think you're dead, they'll leave you. Seal the tunnel. Write your name in chalk. And find someone else. You swing again. You're slower now. Barely breaking the surface. But you're still here. Still swinging. Still breathing. The others move like shadows around you. No one talks. No one looks. There's a boy sitting across from you. Could be asleep. Could be unconscious. Could be both. You don't check. You don't want to know. Your candle dies again. You light another. The last one. It burns low. Wobbles in the shaft's stale air. You watch it. Mesmerized. It's the only thing down here that looks alive. Then it flickers. And sputters. And dies. You're left in silence. You just sit. And let it cover you. Like a blanket. Like the earth itself. Pulling you in. You feel small. And big. And invisible. All at once. You think about going home. But home is just another word. For 4 walls and more coughing. You think about stopping. But stopping isn't allowed. Even now. Even like this. Even after all this. Because the shift isn't over. Not officially. Not until someone tells you to stop. And no one's coming. So you sit. Pick in your lap. Candle gone. Hand shaking. And wait. For the tunnel to decide. For the mind to whisper. For your lungs to give in. Whichever comes first. You're not sure how much time has passed. Could be 10 minutes. Could be an hour. The dark does that. It eats time. Chews it slow. Spits it back all wrong. You sit very still. Not because you're resting. But because your legs won't rise anymore. They're done arguing. You listen. To nothing. To everything. Somewhere deep in the shaft. Water drips into a puddle. Steady. But too far to matter. A cough echoes once. Not yours. Not close. Then silence again. You're cold now. Not the surface kind. The kind that settles inside you. A slow chill from the ribs outward. You rub your hands. They don't feel much. The nerves have gone soft. Or numb. Or both. You try to stand. Half succeed. One knee locks. The other buckles. You lean forward and pull yourself up. With the handle of your pick. Like a crutch. Like a lifeline. Your body screams. But you've learned to ignore that. It's been screaming for weeks. Maybe months. You shuffle down the tunnel. Not because someone told you to. Not because you have strength. But because you've forgotten. What else there is to do. You reach a point you recognize. The junction where the shaft splits. And the wall leaks a slow stream of muddy water. Still seeping. Still quiet. Still waiting. You turn left. Or M. You find a low bench. A board resting on rocks. Someone made it once. For moments like this. You sit again. Eyes half closed. Hands limp. The pick resting between your knees like a second spine. The tunnel's air is thicker now. You don't need a bird to know. You can taste it. Like old meat. And wet rope. Your lungs wheeze on every breath. You breathe through your mouth now. The nose is too clogged. Too burned. Each inhale scratches. Each exhale fades. And still. No one calls the end of shift. There's no bell. No signal. Only guesswork. You look around. But no one is near. Just empty tunnels. And flickering shadows. And drips. And your heartbeat. Loud in your ears. Reminding you. You're still here. You whisper something. Not a prayer. Not a word. Just sound. So the silence doesn't swallow you whole. You wonder what's happening above ground. Is it morning? Evening? Has it rained? You miss rain. Real rain. Not this dripping stone stuff. Rain on rooftops. On the mind breathes again. Just once. And the air shifts. Just slightly. You close your eyes. And stay that way. And now. We step away. Quietly. Leave the pickaxe behind. Rest it gently against the wall. There's no more coal to break tonight. No more carts to drag. No more breath to waste. On air that doesn't want to be breathed. Let your body slow now. Let your thoughts drift. The ache in your legs? Let it soften. The tightness in your back? Let it melt. You've survived a full day. In a place not meant for people. In a place made of shadows. And echoes. And work that doesn't care if you come back. But here you are. And now, you get to leave. Just for a little while. Let your eyelids fall heavy. Let the flickering candle in your mind burn low. Then lower still. The mind will still be there. Tomorrow. And the day after. And long after that. But you? You're above ground now. Wrapped in blankets. Safe in this moment. Where no dust can reach you. No weight can bend you. And no bell will call you back. You've done enough. You've carried enough. You've seen enough. So rest. Let your breathing slow. To a soft rhythm. Like the gentle hum of a cartwheel. Rolling away. Into the dark. Sleep deep now. And dream of air. And light. And places where the ground never swallows your name.